Hello everyone, this is Al from PC Tech Review 101 coming back to you with another video. Today I'm going to review HP OMEN 880-050 gaming desktop. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and help me reach 1,000 subscribers. And now for the good. This computer features Intel i7-7700K 4.20 GHz processor, 16GB DDR4 2400 MHz RAM, Nvidia GTX1080ti graphics card. For the main drive, we have 512GB M.2 SSD drive, and for your secondary drive, we have a 2TB SATA hard drive. And now for the bad. This gaming computer is very disappointing. Aside for the case looking cool with the red LED lighting, it's useless. It doesn't have good airflow, similar to a regular desktop, which is not good for this kind of hardware. The side panel is tinted and you can barely see inside. The power supply is only 500 watts, which is the bare minimum for this kind of hardware. The motherboard is proprietary and can't overclock the CPU or RAM. Even though the water cooler looks good, it's unnecessary since you can't even overclock the processor. Too many wires showing. Comes only with Windows 10 Home, and the motherboard is locked to it, which means you can't install Windows 10 Pro. For a retail price of $2,300 to $2,400, it's disappointing. Okay, and now let's see how this computer does in some gaming benchmarks. We're gonna test it in 1080p and 4K settings. Just want to run a quick Cinebench test here. We're gonna do the CPU first. Okay, and there's the score, 909. Now, of course, that's going to be with the recording software that I'm using in the background, so it's going to be a little less. But you could expect, I just ran the benchmark before I start running the software. So you could expect around this score here, you know, maybe up to 1,000 if anything. Of course, it's not going to be higher than any of the 6-core 12-thread processors. As you could see, even the older ones will beat it on the Cinebench, but it's not a bad score. Let's see what it does on OpenGL. And we got 129.07 FPS on the OpenGL. Again, this is the run I did without the recording software prior to this, so you could expect up to, you know, around this kind of figure, 142 or so, and this is what I got with the run-in software. Okay, and without further ado, let's see how this thing does in games. Okay, the first game we're gonna test is Battlefield 1. We're gonna start off with the 1080p settings. We're set on the lowest. Okay, full screen 1080p, VSync off, and we're on the lowest possible settings. And we're doing pretty steady 200 FPS. I know when it gets a little crazier, it might dip down below. And both the processor and the graphic cards are in turbo mode. That's pretty much the most you're gonna get out of this computer, which is 4.4 gigahertz and 1848 megahertz on the Nvidia GTX1080ti. Oh yeah, it's running pretty sweet. Okay, now we're just gonna hit all the ultra settings. Kind of just max it out. Let's go with the FX medium. FX. Okay, on high. Let's do on high. Let's see what happens here now. Oh yeah. So as we can see, is now we're on the ultra settings on 1080p, and somehow it's still running these crazy frame rates. Could that be right? Let me just double check. Yes. So we could see that we're on ultra with everything on the high setting, and we are still running these frame rates. I don't know how that's possible. Almost as much as on the lowest settings. So this thing has got a lot of room to play with. Very impressive. I do want to mention I am running the latest Nvidia drivers, which have been released in August 1st, 2018. So it looks like they did quite a bit of improvement. I'm gonna try to stay in this board and survive, and just show you more settings on this. So that's pretty much 1080p on ultra. Now I'm just gonna jump right into 4K, and I'm gonna leave the same settings just the way they are, and on ultra. And let's see what the 4K does on this one. Right there. Okay, let's give it a moment to adjust. Okay, and that's 4K. Again, I'm using DSR and Nvidia control panel. A lot of you guys may not know, but that's the option. It's a good way to test out your gaming builds if you don't have a 4K monitor. Okay, ooh, I just saw 4.5 gigs on that processor. That's very nice. Oh, far. Let's run away from here. Just conserve my energy. Just want to kind of stick around in this board. These settings. So, yeah, so that's 4K resolution, guys, on ultra. Motion blur off. VSync off. Don't really need motion blur to experience the true graphics. That's it. Uh-oh, now we're getting bombed. That's how you get killed. That's it. I knew I wasn't gonna last too much longer.
We came from all over the world. So many of us thinking this war would be our rite of passage, our great adventure. Let me tell you, it was no adventure.
Okay, yeah, this is more stuff going on here. See, the frame rates are really dropping down a little bit, but you're still above 60 FPS on 4K. This is a very high demanding scene here. There's a lot of going on here. Okay, guys, and that's Battlefield 1. Okay, guys, and now we got Witcher 3. Again, we're gonna start off with 1080p, the lowest possible settings, everything turned down, and that's what we're getting here. We're getting about 240 or 50 FPS, no problem.
Ever tell you about this sorcerer I knew?
That's pretty good, I think. What do you guys think?
Creatures.
Because you can brew potions from their blood.
No, because by eating rotting corpses, they prevent epidemics.
Oh yeah.
Did you know
Let me see with some action here. These guys, there's a,
Really upset him too. His theory collapsed.
see how that runs. Oh, real nice, real nice. Again, I'm gonna be just recording it with my camera because I want you to get the maximum. I want you to see the maximum possible FPS, because with any recording software you are gonna lose some FPS. So this is why I do it like that, and it's easier too. I just prefer it this way. Yeah, you see that we're getting like outside any action about 300 FPS. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Yep. Let me see these guys here. Fight these guys real quick. What do we got here? Drowners, huh? Okay. Ooh, that beat me up pretty good. Yeah, the FPS is still high. You know, I'm just gonna switch now to. Okay, now I'm gonna stay in 1080p, but I'm gonna turn on all these settings here and go to ultra settings. Okay, and then we'll go ultra, but we're gonna turn Nvidia Hairworks off. Okay, let's see what we get there. So this is pretty much ultra settings here. We're still doing pretty good here, around 100 FPS. Pretty much just the blurs are off. I really don't like to use those. Who needs blur? Motion blur anyways. Oh, I went too far. Get back in here.
Boy, it's not exactly going our way.
We have the side.
The northern realms.
We're out of its realms, don't you mean? Samaria and dead are no more.
Is that where it come from? Oh yeah, this way. This roach. Get on the roach. Okay. Okay.
Out of its pledge to restore.
Let's 1080p on ultra. Let's switch now to 4K on ultra. I could just finish this test out. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just like I figured it, like this is a very hard game to run, and we're not getting 60 FPS on 4K here at all. About 50. Let's see if it goes below 50. I go this way. I want to skip the cutscene. We're going to 40s now. You could finagle and with a couple of settings here and there, you know, you could get to 60 FPS on ultra. Oh no, let's get the hell out of here. I just got shot with an arrow. It's crazy. I'm stuck. Let's see, let me go on foot now. So yes, as you could see, you're unable to, with a 1080 Ti, and believe me, everything is running like it should be, you're unable to get 60 FPS on ultra. On 4K. A bit disappointing, what can you say, but that's just the way it is. And here is Tomb Raider. We are on 1080p, the lowest possible settings. Way above 200 FPS. As you could see, the GPU temperature is extremely high. And this is what I was talking about when it came to this case. The cooling is just, there's just no airflow and nowhere for the air to go except, you know, back on top towards the CPU. And the CPU is running pretty hot too for a non-clocked CPU, you know, where it's 66 Celsius. and it'll go higher as we play.
I need to jump across.
I know we do have the VSync off, and we're pushing all these frame rates, so I guess, you know, it's gonna happen. But if this graphics card had a maybe dual fan and better airflow this case, we're gonna get much better temperatures. I definitely think so. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Let's now let's go to max setting on 1080p. Let's see what we got here. We're gonna go right to the highest presets. Just straight up. We're just gonna leave it like that. Oh, what do we got here? These suckers are on. Let's do very high on pure hair. Let's just go on very high, whatever we can. Very high on that one. These got some space to work with. Yup. Yeah, that's it. I think this is. I don't see anything else to the right. So let's see how this comes out too. Oh yeah, this is beautiful, guys. Look at that. Yeah, this game loves this processor and graphics card. Look at these frame rates. Still above 100. And it's maxed out and it looks great. Wow. Yeah, the cave looks real nice. The snow, if you can only see it from here.
I guess if I was going to hide a lost city, this might be the kind of godforsaken place I'd do it.
I just hope Trinity
Beautiful.
hasn't beaten us to it.
Oh, there's a little stutter there. Yeah, it's too much going on here, guys. Just a little stutter there. That's okay.
Should be enough time. We're almost to the
The
top.
snow and everything looks great. The ice.
What do you think?
We're close to something, Jonah. I can.
Feels pretty solid, but keep close to the wall.
Okay.
Okay, let's try 4K. Let's finish this up. I'm just gonna stay with the DirectX 12 on this one. I'm just gonna go to custom. I'm gonna go for high just in case. I'm not sure if it's if it's gonna work. Okay, just to be sure. If we got more headroom, then we'll give it a shot. Did I do that right? Hold on a second. No, I didn't get it right. I didn't hit OK. Okay. There you go. Well, what's going on there? Display. Oh, apply changes. There you go. I was hitting the wrong button. It's okay. Okay, so we're on the high settings on 4K.
Climb from here.
I'm not gonna go on very high because I know what's gonna happen if it's if it's already struggling to stay at 60 FPS. This is pretty much the best you could do, but not risk very high. But it holds out pretty good. Now, as you could see, the frame rates are low and the CPU dropped drastically. The temperature again, just like in the other game.
That was close.
Okay. That's it. Yeah, so that's what we're here to expect. Just like Witcher 3, just not cutting out for, and this is not even the max, this is just high settings.
Can you make it across?
Just not able to do it at 60 FPS.
Stay there. I'll anchor a line for you
And
at the top.
that's Tomb Raider. Okay. And here is Hitman. we're on 1080p at the highest settings. When it comes to this specific game, even though you put it on the lowest settings versus the highest settings on 1080p, it seems like the frame rate is pretty much the same. So it really, there's no point of me putting this on the lowest, because it just doesn't, it's not optimized for that, I guess, or something. We won't see the same results like we did with the other games. You know. So we're on, what's this? Can I go this far? Let's see. Oh yeah. So we're on 1080p, the highest settings.
Now working on this novel is
What's in here? Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Well, he was headmaster for 30 years. He still carries around.
Okay, let's just now change this to 4K. Where are we? Where is 4K? There it is. Yep, there it is. Just like I figured. Looks like 1080p and 4K on the Ultra seems to be like the same. About 10 frames difference or something. So when it comes to that, 4K is pretty good on max setting. Yeah, I'll show you again, guys. Options. Where are we? What happened there? I can't go to options, huh? That's strange. Well, that's okay. Like I said, we're on the max settings. 4K.
I'm afraid you don't have the right clearance, sorry.
And we are above 60. Not much though. It'll probably drop down in action scenes and stuff like that. And this looks pretty good. Yeah, like I said, yeah, you see it's going down now. Yep. But overall, it does look very beautiful. Look at the detail on that. Let's go into the crowd, see what's going on here. Oh yeah, this is perfect. He could handle it strong enough. I mean, now you guys really see what it takes to run a 4K game. I mean, look at this. Look at the hardware you need just to play 4K at the highest settings and to be smooth, and you still won't get a steady 60 FPS. Kind of like on and off. That's a lot of work just to get it running. I guess you need like two 1080 Ti's really to kick some ass, to really crush, and that'll only work for SLI compatible games, which is not all of them, but there's plenty of them. Okay guys, and that's Hitman. And last but not least, Grand Theft Auto 5. We're on 1080p at the highest settings. Take a look here. Desync off. Okay, let's see how that runs. I don't think I'll get even steady 100 FPS. I doubt it. Yeah, all these games add up, you know. When you max out the settings, even with a graphics card like this, people don't realize they made so many options on these games that, you know, it's really hard to run any game nowadays on super max settings at 60 FPS. So that's gonna be our 1080p run. Again, the CPU and the GPU is blazing hot. Definitely not where you want to be. Oh. Okay, let's see what 4K looks like as the last setting here for us. Okay, now we're filling up a little bit to 6 VRAM. 6 gigs of VRAM we're gonna use. Okay, that's good. Oh man. There you have it. I mean, with the settings I had before, the MSA really hurts it. So we're like a 30 here on 4K, and it's stuttering. So let's just I know what it is. Let's take off these things here. These really hurt. Leave that on 2. Let's see, leave this on 2. Let's see how much of a difference that makes. There you go. That's more like it. So yeah, those are the settings you have to play around with. Otherwise, this thing was unplayable. Jeez, will there ever be a graphics card that you could truly max out stuff in 4K? I don't know. I know most of us will be lucky to get our heads on the 1080 Ti, but it's, you know, in my opinion, it still doesn't max out games on 4K. So I would definitely suggest, you know, waiting for the new generations, or get a second one for that ultimate performance. Of course, for SLI supported games though. So yeah, that's gonna be a wrap for this video. That's your settings on 4K, guys.